Hello, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I'm going to answer some questions that I've been getting. I've been getting some more. I've been getting questioned about this more often since I've gotten a PC for the channel. I've been getting more and more questions about is PC better than console gaming? Is it do the games look better? Do they run better? A lot of stuff like that. So I want to answer something for the community, for the gamers out there. What does PC bring to this channel? Now, first of all, yes, the overall experience with PC gaming and getting into PC gaming is definitely going to deliver. I'm not going to say a different experience because theoretically, I mean, for the most part, everything basically looks pretty close to the same. Like getting a game on your Xbox Series X or your PlayStation 5 and then looking at it on the PC. In some cases, yes, there are some major, enhancements that you're going to see, like, and that's going to pertain mostly to like ray tracing or, maybe sometimes, like a higher texture pack, maybe even like better draw distance, more consistent sharpness across the screen for the most part. But most of what you're going to experience is going to be in how it feels. Frame rate is pretty much the king when it comes to PC. These two consoles, even the Series X, even the Series S, they're delivering a really nice visual presentation. And when you get 60 frames a second, that for the most part, for most people, if you're a casual gamer or you're just a gamer, you just don't have time to like really be like a super enthusiast when it comes to games, that's more than enough. That's more than enough for you to give you a stable experience that looks good. That looks good and will, look good on your 4K TV or your 1440p monitor. Now, I'll tell you what, with these consoles, with the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series S, the biggest upgrade you can give yourself is just getting a 1440p monitor. You don't necessarily need to go out and build a high-spec PC to get high-spec visuals out of these consoles. Simply get a 1440p monitor, and that will enhance your image quality a lot more because of the downsampling. It will downsample to 1440p and give you a more full, higher looking settings experience than you're going to get on a 4K screen with these consoles. Now, there are the exceptions, like Call of Duty, AAA games that really focus on, high refresh rate and high visual quality. Those are going to be, regardless, those are always going to look good on your 4K TV. You're not going to question your experience. When you play God of War Ragnarok or any of these games, all of these AAA games with higher budgets, like you're not going to question your 4K experience too much. I know I did with Horizon Forbidden West. The overall visual presentation for the performance mode at launch was less than exhilarating. It was like, oh boy, that looks pretty freaking fuzzy, but putting that game on a 1440p monitor, literally incredible. Like, it looks so beautiful on a 1440p monitor. It's a no question. It's a no brainer which one you would choose. If you saw it sitting on both of them, you're going to choose the monitor every single time on that game. Like, you just are. Like, it doesn't matter how big your TV is or what it looks like. Like, you are going to look at that on the monitor and you're going to look at it on your TV and you're going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm taking that. So when people are asking me in the comment section, and it dawned on me today, I got a question from somebody, and it dawned on me today as I was sitting here and I was getting up to start making some more of my WRC Generations videos. I turned on the Series X today, and I was sitting here on the monitor, and that's the same monitor that my PC is hooked up to. So when I'm sitting there and I'm playing, like WRC Generations on the PC, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, whoa, man. And so I did. I turned on the Xbox today, and I'm playing the same game. and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, man, this looks incredible on this 1440p monitor. This looks good. Like it's really hard pressed to really see a major difference in visuals when you're playing it on the monitor. Now, if I put it on the 4K TV, it is a little bit different. There's not as much pow in your face visuals. So it's like, and so it is. It's a pretty interesting experience that I find myself in lately with between 4K and 1440p and PC gaming versus console gaming. It definitely has added. The biggest thing that it's done is it's been more time consuming. Like, it's more time consuming, but there are so many benefits that have come from upgrading the PC on this channel. Not only can I deliver better looking content for you guys, but I also can experience the full breadth of each game. If I buy, a PC copy and an Xbox copy or a PlayStation 5 copy, I can experience the full gamut of how that game is presented without the limitations that like consoles inherently come with. Because I don't blame, I've been pretty hard on the PlayStation, and all of that, but I don't really blame the console makers anymore, because 4K is extremely demanding. Like, it's really demanding, and everything that the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Series S, everything that they put in here to try to enhance that visual image, that visual presentation for your next gen games on a 4K TV, trust and believe, man, more power from these consoles would have cost you double the money. Like, $500 for what you get for these is very fair, to be completely honest. With the image quality that you receive on a 4K screen, they're fine. Honestly, guys, if I would have never bought the PC, I would have never been none the wiser to any of this anyways. The PC has only backed up and made that even more relevant. When I sit here and I play on the PC and then I play on the Xbox or the PlayStation and I see the difference in visuals, I'm like, wow, dude, that's really not that far apart visual wise. So unless there's like, ray tracing or something, ray tracing does kind of tip the scales really, really far for the PC platform, to be completely honest with you. If ray tracing is something that you want, I definitely recommend building yourself the PC that's going to deliver that experience for you. Is it needed on consoles? I don't think so. The performance hit that we're going to take this console generation for the ray tracing, oh man, it'd be nice to look at. Like, I do want the developers to, if they are going to include the ray tracing, to not try to go above and beyond the 30 frames per second on that. Try to give you the biggest bang for your buck and visual clarity that they can do on 30 frames per second. But every game, even Gotham Knights, needs to go back and try to figure out a way to bring you a 60 FPS experience, because that there is going to be more important in this generation. The performance versus the ray tracing and visual bells and whistles. I feel like the ray tracing or the performance is definitely going to be the best part going forward for this generation. Once you start going higher frame rate, it makes it more and more difficult to go back to 30 frames per second. But they are learning some new techniques with the 30 frames per second. Like, I played through all of Gotham Knights, and this is the 30 frames per second. If you have an OLED, is going to be difficult. That's going to be hard no matter what, unless you can turn on your 120 FPS and use the low frame rate compensation enabled with VRR on the Xbox platform. It's a lot different. It's a lot more tricky with the PlayStation 5, but it does appear that Sony first party are including LFC, low frame rate compensation, in their titles at a software level, already just, kind of baked into their VRR solution. So it does get rid of that judder a lot. I've went back and I've tried some of the like the Spider-Mans and the other games, and I've tried them on the 40 FPS quality mode, and It does help with the jitter, but not as much as, say, turning on your Xbox at 30 frames per second and enabling the low frame rate compensation on the Xbox platform. It smooths out the OLED jitter, OLED 30 FPS jitter a lot better than the PlayStation is doing right now. So that's something that maybe Sony can look into to deliver a better, smoother experience. I no longer fault Sony for trying to go for the visuals. That's what sells consoles, guys. It is. At the end of the day, you hear the hype and the excitement and everything over God of War Ragnarok right now. A lot of that is probably going to be, coming down to the visual presentation of this game. Like, once you see something, it's so pretty and you're like, whoa, that looks so great. That amplifies that intensifies that excitement in your brain, because like, whoa, man, that visual impact is hitting you a whole lot harder than the sound, than the actual gameplay, or than any of that visual representation. Like, we're visual creatures, like that visual hits us and then boom, we're like, whoa, man, like that's the first thing we see. That's the first information we get, no matter what. Like, right when we see something, that's the biggest part of the information that we're getting. So the visuals definitely do help, and it does make sense for Sony, Microsoft. Sony is, I kind of feel like Sony's going to stay the visual king, and that's fine. That gives something, that gives Xbox, that whole like, man, we need to get up there. We need to do some more with this. But I feel like Xbox's focus is more on performance, and that's good too, because then that makes Sony like, oh man, we can't just release a 30 FPS game. We have to try harder to release a 60 FPS game version with this at the same time. So that competition, that competing, is definitely going to keep these guys growing stronger and getting better as this generation goes on. Like, we're set for this generation. Now, we are going to have your outliers like Gotham Knights. If it really is a thing with their engine that they can't do the 60 FPS and still give you that full-fledged, untethered multiplayer experience, it is what it is, guys. Like, I would much rather be able to play Gotham Knights untethered than have to like sit and wait for somebody or do this or do that. Like, I would much rather have that experience untethered than having it be a tethered, because I want to go off and explore the open world and do things the way I want to do them. And like, if I'm playing with somebody, they're going to want to go off and do things their own way. I like that. I like the way that's built in, and it does kind of, it really does enhance your experience. So if that's really the limitation, fine, whatever, I can accept that. Gotham Knights was an amazing game, whether it's 30 frames or 60 frames, it still felt great. I really enjoyed that experience. So I'm not gonna bang on it too much, but if you're somebody, like I said, in all the reviews and all the previews and all the stuff that I did for Gotham Knights, if 30 FPS is that big for you and you're hung up on it, wait for it to go on sale. But I still recommend playing that game. There's some things about the PC platform that are definitely going to turn potential people away. There are some. They're not as big as they probably once were, but they're still there. You're going to have multiple different freaking game sites. You're going to have Epic. You're going to have GOG. You're going to have Steam. You're going to have Xbox Game Store. You're going to have a PC one for PlayStation eventually. You have so many, EA, Ubisoft, so many of these freaking loaders that you got to log into, and then every time you go to play a game, you got to put in your credentials and all that. It's so annoying, and it's so useless to have all that. They need, I like the centralized platform, but there's also benefits to having it separated out as well. There just is, but not enough to get over the whole annoyance of it. You know what I mean? Like, that annoyance is going to remain. It's going to stay there, but it's cool. It's cool. The PC platform, when it comes to, I think a lot of people make a big deal about the whole, updates and stuff like that on the PC more and more. It really hasn't impeded my enjoyment to a point where I'm just like, oh man, like, it really hasn't. It really hasn't, but that is a problem, that you are going to have to deal with eventually. You're going to have to download updates. You're going to have to do this and you're going to have to do that. So, yes, but it's more open. it's so much more open that like, oh man, you've got way more choice, and sometimes that can be a bad thing. Like the ultimate, I mean, a lot of choice can be a bad thing, because if you don't understand the PC platform, it can cause problems for you. So that's something that, that a lot of people kind of just don't really talk about, because you do ultimately need a certain level of understanding of PC and the platform to be able to figure things out, because there's a lot of things that could get frustrating really fast when it comes to PC if you don't know what you're doing. And I hear a lot of the PC guys out there telling everybody, no, man, just build your PC, just build your PC. Man, if you're not smart about PC and you don't possess certain skills, that could be troublesome for you. When you buy a pre-built, I mean, look for a good pre-built. Don't just go on and buy like some weird stuff, like HP. I trust HP. I've been using HP products for a long time. So when I bought the Omen, I was like, okay, man, like I understand HP. I can deal with that. It kind of puts training wheels on your PC experience when you buy a pre-built. It depends on the pre-built you bought, but it really does kind of put training wheels on there that can help you navigate some of that stuff. Like they'll have their own software in there. They'll have limitations on their board and their products so that you can't overclock and destroy your system by not knowing anything about what you're doing. And it gives you certain parameters in their systems that you can overclock and do whatever you want. Like you can boost and you can do stuff like that. Are you going to get the ultimate power out of your machine? No. But you're also not going to destroy it as quick as you would if you didn't know what you were doing. You can watch a million YouTube videos on everything, and dude, do you really 100% know and understand what these guys are trying to tell you? That's the thing. Like, yeah, I see it all the time. Oh, I watched a Digital Foundry video and it is really, guys. Really, like Digital Foundry's good at what they do. They're good at selling you a game or selling you on certain aspects of a game, and that's cool, man. They are good, and that's why they make money doing YouTube, because they're good at it. And a lot of people respect them, and a lot of people respect that. But once you start to get into this stuff yourself, and you start to see and you start to test things all on your own, you start to see, the omissions that, maybe Digital Foundry leaves out, or the omissions that NX Gamer or IGN or all of these guys that they might leave out, because you are now seeing this and you're trying to figure out like, whoa, why do they emphasize this over this glaring issue? You know what I mean? And it gets to a point where you're just like, oh boy, like Alex. He keeps going on and on and on and on about ray tracing and stutters and this and stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get that, man. Those are problems, those are benefits of the PC platform, and obviously something, that creates problems when you're getting into a new game and you're trying to play it and stuff. And yeah, those are things to definitely know about. And I get that, because I did the same thing with Horizon Forbidden West. I do the same thing with Gran Turismo 7 right now, Pikes Peak Win. Like, I get that. There's certain nuances that, each individual is going to have that are going to bug them, and that they're going to keep talking about and talking about and talking about. And that's why we use, and that's part of using your platform to get change. But then there's also things that they will bring out and be like, oh yeah, this is so great. But then they don't do that for every game. For every game, and it's weird. It's weird that they do that kind of stuff, and it just kind of makes you think like, wow, man, are these guys? Sometimes it feels like they're just overly nitpicking the games. So I don't know. I kind of try not to watch that stuff anymore, because I want to enjoy video games again, man. And getting into that little Digital Foundry rabbit hole for as long as I was, whoa, man, it was starting to really affect how I played my games and how I enjoyed them. You don't need that, guys. You don't need that. You bought a console. You really don't need that. Doesn't matter if the Xbox is 200 freaking P more than the PlayStation version. Not really, because neither one of them are actual freaking gonna be 4K. I guess it does kind of matter. I guess it does kind of matter a little bit if you have both. If you have both, then that's information that you might want to know, which one should you buy it on. But I don't feel like those results are ever 100% in the bucket. You know what I mean? Like, I don't ever feel like they're 100% anymore, because I feel like every single thing I've played on my Xbox versus the same thing on the PlayStation 5, I always just feel like it's better. It runs better. The colors look better. The resolution feels higher on the Xbox Series X. But all that changed when I got a 1440p monitor, because now they literally look the same. I mean, well, they look the same except for the Xbox still does retain that more vibrant color over the PlayStation 5. So for the most part, if you got them both on a 1440p monitor, there's literally no freaking difference. Literally none. And the response time in the monitor, it basically gets rid of, you know, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there's basically no difference now on a 1440p monitor. They literally look the same. So that's something to think about. Like, that's something to like really think about in perspective. If you have both consoles and you're always worried about which one's better, buy a 1440p monitor and then buy the game on the platform that's better. Like, if you've got a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox and you have a 1440p monitor, dude, now you can buy all your Demon Souls and all your you know, Souls type experience, your third person, you know, hack and slash fighter games on your PlayStation, because the controller feels better for a lot of those games. Then you can buy all your racers and shooters and everything else on your Xbox. And then you can, you know, your story games, you know, you can buy your PlayStation story games on your PlayStation. You can buy your Xbox story games on your Xbox. And then you can split the difference down your Ubisoft and whatever games. You know what I mean? You can just buy it on whichever one you want. Whatever one you can find the best deal on, technically. So there's some things to think about, man. If you want to just have the best gaming experience and you're thinking about getting into PC, maybe not be so hastily about it, because you're still going to get a pretty decent experience from these consoles this generation. But if you really truly want to see your games get pushed with high frame rate, if you don't ever want to have to choose between resolution or frame rate, and you want to just have them both, yeah, man, the PC is going to deliver that. And there's so many options on the PC though, that it's pretty much one of those things. Once you top out and you go the best of the best, you're stuck in that class. Like, you're literally stuck in that class. Like, there's no wiggle room. You go from the best to the best to the best. The best comes out every 2 years. Every 2 years. And if you're team green with Nvidia, man, $1,600. If you're team red with AMD, you're about $1,000 for the top of the line right now. And if you're gonna adopt the Intel platform, you're still good. Like, you could build one of those and still get, you know what, 3060 performance at a pretty reasonable price to at least wet your beak. That's what I did. I got in with the 3060 Ti. My whole plan was a 3080 from the get-go. I bought the 3060 Ti because that was basically what I could get at the time, and then I upgraded when I had the chance. And I'll tell you, this is the build that I wanted, and it delivers on the experience that I want it to deliver on. Now, I'm running at a 1440p. I see no need to go out and upgrade to 4K just yet. Maybe when I upgrade the platform, maybe when I upgrade and do all that and actually build my own PC, then I'll go 4K. I'll get the 4K, you know, the OLED 4K monitor. I'll build the PC out, and then might top out the power and just stay topped out for the rest of my life. I don't know, but it is pretty interesting how it changes things. Would I give up my console experience to just go full PC? No. There's a reason for that. That's a 1440p monitor. I don't need to. Like, I don't need to. I don't feel like my consoles are at a major disadvantage to the PC, and I can still bring content and still make content and then still enjoy that experience, all the way down to even the Series S on a 1440p monitor. I'm okay with that. Like, I loved playing games, and it doesn't matter what platform I'm on, as long as it delivers a compelling experience. I'll play wherever the games are. Like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. As long as the games are there, I'm playing them. So I know this was long. I know this was all over the place, but that's what you guys like. You guys like these videos where I just talk and give you my thoughts and really try to, you know, cover as much stuff as possible. One of these days, when I start to understand the PC platform even better, I will start to really dial down and give you the best information possible that I can bring you to as if you should. I don't necessarily 100% think upgrading to a PC right now is inevitable, but I do feel like with PlayStation first party and Xbox first party going to the PC platform, maybe that's something to think about for your next generation. Maybe that's something to think about for next generation. Just kind of plan, start learning as much as you can about PC. That's kind of what I did, during the beginning of this channel, was I starting to learn more about the PC so that I felt comfortable enough doing what I did. Don't just jump head in. Don't just jump head in. Learn why you have your console. Learn as much as you can about, the PC and different things, watch a lot of videos on it. Try to get as much information as you can. I would read more. That's what I did. You can watch all the videos in the world, but they never really touch on anything. They just gloss over a lot of stuff for the most part. But you can really find Gamers Nexus. He does pretty good about giving you some information. I like Jay's 2 cents as well. Linus Tech Tip, if those are the guys that you're going to want to watch. But then there's other people that you can read, and it's more detailed information when you read that will help boost that knowledge. So there's a lot you got to learn about the PC platform before you just jump in. I do not recommend just, I'm going to just go out and buy the biggest PC and then take it home and start trying to overclock and do all this weird stuff and download mods and everything like that. You have to be careful because your thing is connected to the internet, and there are ways to download viruses and all kinds of stuff on your PC. So there's a lot more risk involved with a PC, and it's a lot more money that you're playing with. So I do caution you and hope that you can come to some understanding about how you do it. Personally, do not download any games off of anything that isn't one of those launchers. Don't do it. Don't download any files that anybody sends you in an email. Don't download any game stuff. Don't do it until you understand exactly what you're doing. Then you can maybe do that kind of stuff. But stick to the launcher. Stick to Steam. Stick to Steam and Epic and all of that stuff. Just stay there. Don't go outside of the realm of whatever. Just stay where you feel comfortable and gain your knowledge. And then start to do what you want to do. But as it sits, those are my thoughts on PC versus consoles right now. It's where I'm at. That's how I'm feeling about it. And yeah, dude, I think they're all good. I think they're all good, and they can all live in the same house simultaneously. And all these people are like, if you got a PC, you don't need a PlayStation or an Xbox. Whatever, man. Whatever. Whatever. They can coexist. They can all live together. Like, they live right here just fine, man. And I enjoy playing all of them. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching 28 minutes and a lot of seconds of this video. I really do appreciate it, especially if you made it this far. Thank you. You're a trooper. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.